Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Gina and I make videos about houseplants and houseplant related content, and I make new videos every week, and thanks for joining me here today. So today's video, we're going to take a look at some plants that I have been losing interest in. Can you believe it? I am not immune to falling out of love with some of my houseplants. And there's a few, and typically the reason I start losing interest is because they're just not doing great. They're not looking great. And I have a few. I do have a few like that right now. So when something like that happens, for me, what I usually do is I'll move that plant around. I'll move it to a different room. Maybe I'll give it a new planter. What else do I do? Sometimes if nothing like that will work, I know nothing like that will work to get me interested in the plant again, I'll just end up selling it. So the plants that I do end up selling, I am not the type of person that I'm gonna sell an ugly plant to somebody. The ones I end up selling are ones that still look good, but they don't do it for me anymore. I don't feel like they're adding anything to my collection. So I sell them to make room for other things. And these are my two kitties, by the way, Nora and Nikki. And we may see some controversy here. Let's see. Kind of looks like it. Nora's plotting. Well, Nikki went that way, so I think we're going to be okay. Anyway, so those plants that like I said, that I sell, they're in good shape. They're just not, I'm no longer interested in keeping them in my collection. So I have actually recently sold a couple of plants. So I had a Monstera stanleyana, and I had a Monstera siltepecana, and I had the Monstera dubia. And I just recently sold all three of those just because, I don't know, I thought I really wanted them. I brought them into my collection. They're beautiful, but they're just, I don't know, I guess I'm not a huge fan of the Monsteras. So I sold them. Plus, I actually have some, this is a little sneak preview here. I was contacted by a couple of import companies asking if I wanted to pick out some plants from them, and they would send them to me and I would do an unboxing for you guys. So I said, sure, of course. So I'm going to be getting some, I think. I mean, it's all set up, I think. I'm just waiting to receive them. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but so I had to make some room for these new plants. So I kind of went through and I picked out plants that just no longer, I just don't feel like they're adding anything to my collection. So yeah. But then there are those plants that I've lost interest in, but they're just not looking great. So I will try to get them looking good again. And if they look good, you know, I may end up keeping them, or if I'm still not real interested in them, then I'll just end up selling those too, once they look good again. So yeah, so I'm going to share with you some plants that mostly just aren't looking good. Pretty sure all of them, they need help, so, because I'm losing interest. So yeah, so let's look at a few. So these first ones I'm going to show you, it's a genus of plants that I'm kind of losing interest in, and it may not come as any surprise to some of you, but it's the Tradescantias. So I had quite a few Tradescantias in my collection. Like this one here, and I don't know what kind this one is, but it's just like a green. Actually, I got this one on Etsy. It's a fancy one, but I can't remember. I couldn't tell you what the name of it is, but it does get purple. So this one, whoop, this one was very long and trailing, and it started getting bald at the top. Still had, you know, beautiful and full at the bottom, but just bald at the top. So I just chopped the whole thing. I got tired of it, so I chopped it, and this is what's come back since I've done that. So yeah. So there's that one. And then there's this one. It was the same thing. It was big and long and trailing, beautiful, but ugly at the top. So I chopped it, and that's what's coming back. And then there's this one. This one was pretty long. It was never like super full, but now on this one, it was the leaves at the bottom were starting to die off and just not look really great. So I chopped this one as well, and I don't know, this one is definitely losing interest in this one. So, and then I had a Nanook, which I ended up throwing away because it just looked absolutely horrible. But then I also have some Tradescantias that still look fairly decent. Actually, they look pretty good, although, so I have this one, and it's a pretty long trailing, still looks really pretty. You know, there's some, like this leaf here is, and it's kind of, I could pull that one off. And like here, got some dead leaves, and up here and over here, those can come off. So I think what happens, you know, the leaves, like this one's starting to look bad. It ends up getting bare at the top, but you still have this beautifulness down here. And I don't know, it's really pretty though, isn't it? I don't know, I'm just kind of losing interest in the Tradescantia. But then there is one Tradescantia that I have that so far is still really doing super well, and that's the baby bunny bellies. This one's really full and large. And you know, there are some dead leaves up here at the top too. But I think of all my Tradescantias, this one has done the best. So what do I do? I don't know. Like these, do I bother trying to get this looking nice, or do I just say, forget it? I don't know. But one thing's for sure, I'm losing interest in them. Tradescantias. So I think at this point with the Tradescantias, I don't love them enough right now to really put any effort into getting that interest back in them. So I'm just gonna leave them where they currently are, and we'll see what happens. They're not hurting anything. They're really not taking up much space. So I'm just gonna let them continue to grow, see how they look, and decide later what to do with those. So, all right, so my next one that I've been losing interest in is this Variegated Maranta. And this one it used to look really nice, and you know, it's got classic crispy edges, and it's losing its variegation. So in the case of this one, I think all I need to do is move this to a brighter location. I think it needs more light. It sits on the coffee table in my family room, and it's near a southeast facing window, and I just think it's just not enough light for it. So I think if I moved it in this room, it might even do better. This room is pretty bright, and I think it would match this room really well with this pot. And I do give this one distilled water because it was recommended to me by one of you guys to only water with distilled water for these because of they just do better with the distilled water or filtered water. They don't do well with like the chlorine in your tap water. So, I mean, it's still beautiful. It's just, it could look better. I know it could look better. So in this case, I think I could get that interest back pretty easily, and I just need to switch up its location. So I think it will be in this room. I just have to find a spot for it. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put it, but that's my Variegated Maranta. All right, so these next two they're really bad. They're really bad. I'm kind of embarrassed to show this to you guys. So these are my Discudias on cork bark that I made, I think it was last year, probably around, I think it was in the spring last year. And they did really well for the longest time, but I also was taking better care of them. I was misting all the time. I was consistently watering like every 2 days. And lately, I've lost interest and I'm only watering them once a week and I'm not misting them at all. And they are looking rough, very rough. I'm pretty certain both of these probably have root rot, so I can't just move these to a new location, but what I can do is chop these up, start over. Definitely I'm not going to do the cork bark again. I just know personally I can't keep up with the upkeep of having them on cork bark. It's just too much maintenance, and yeah, it requires too much of my time to keep them on the cork bark. So I'll propagate these and start over, just start over with them. So these two, Discudia, I think this is New Mularia, and I always forget the names. This might be Platyphylla, I'm not sure. But yeah, lost interest. All right, so here's my next one, the next one on the chopping block. So this is the Philodendron Melancholy, and this one was doing so well for me for so long, just doing so well. And then I got hit with thrips. And it's just every single leaf looks terrible. Every single one has like just thrip damage. Just looks not good. So, of course, once this happened, I started losing interest in the plant. I have treated this one for the thrips, so I haven't seen any thrips since the treatment, although it hasn't been that long. I'm looking here. Yeah, pretty sure there's no more thrips. So this one, I think what I'm gonna do is just completely cut this one down. We're gonna go all the way down here, back to the bottom, and start all over again. I might propagate this one. Maybe I'll just do like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm definitely gonna chop this one down because these leaves just don't look at that. Just ugly. They don't look good. So yeah, so another one that I've lost interest in, unfortunately. So we'll see. Once I chop it up and start over again, it should be good again. So that's Philodendron Melancholy. So this next one that's on my losing interest list is my Snow Queen Pothos. And the reason is because it's over the winter, it just didn't do great through the winter, and it's lost a lot of leaves, a lot of yellow leaves. This whole vine here and here was full of leaves, and now they're gone. So I was thinking of actually selling this one, but then I was looking at it the other day and I just flipped it around. And when I flipped it around, I realized just how pretty it still looks on this side of the plant. So I think what I need to do is just to flip it. Flip this plant so that this side is facing forward, and maybe clean up these vines, maybe do a little propagating on this plant. We'll see what I can do. But yeah, I think this one easily, I could get my interest back in this one because it does have some new growth, and it still has some beauty. I still love it. I realize that I still love it. So that's the Snow Queen Pothos. So I have one final one to share with you guys, and I realize the lighting here is absolutely atrocious, and I apologize for that. But the last one is this vine, and this is the Passiflora Tripasiata, and this one has, I've been losing interest in this one for a while because it goes all the way, it starts on the wall here and it goes up across the window and all the way over here. And it's been growing like this for about a year, and it loses leaves. Like in the wintertime, it dropped tons of leaves. The vines are not producing any new leaves, and there are some new growth points, but it's it's not doing it for me anymore. I'm not crazy about it anymore. So this is coming down, and I think I might do it here with you guys. I might pull it down here with you guys. It's time to bring it down. So I am gonna propagate because I do love the plant. I'm just not crazy about how it's looking right now. And it's a really messy plant, drops leaves, drops sap, it drops flowers, and I have not been able to clean these windows properly for a year. So yeah, it's time. So let's pull it down. So I have to figure out where I'm gonna start here. So I strung some fishing line across here for it to grab onto. So, you know what, I'm just gonna throw all caution to the wind and just start cutting and not even worry about it. Just gonna cut. And figure it out later. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you guys how good it feels to do this. I have been wanting to do this, and I've been stopping myself because I wasn't sure if I would regret it. But like I said, I've lost interest in this plant, and I'm now at the point where I'm totally fine chopping it up and removing it. If this vine had produced more leaves, I might have left it. I might have just let it keep going, but it's not. It's not doing that, so. how fast that comes down. Hopefully you can see it. I know the lighting is really bad. Yeah, let me get this fishing line here. And it's done. I did it. I can't believe I did it. I did it, yay! My hands are all sticky. It's a really, really sticky vine. It's just so sticky. So here it is. So, you know, it's pretty, but it is just, I've lost interest in it. I don't know that I'll even ever get the interest back. But it is a cool plant. So maybe I'll just cut, I think maybe I'll just cut a couple of these and start a new plant, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to go through that again. It is a wild, fast grower, and you know, some people may love it, and you know, everybody likes different things, and I've learned that I'm not super crazy about this one, even though it's really pretty. And maybe I just didn't have it set up properly in the proper place. And maybe if I grow it in like a hanging planter, it might be really nice. I'll try that. I'm not gonna throw this whole thing away. I am gonna do something with it. So yeah, Passiflora Trifasciata. So those have been my plants that I'm losing interest in. And hopefully, you know, some of these I can get it back. Some of these I may end up throwing away. Some of these I may end up selling. I think most of them I'll probably hang on to, start them over again, and move them. You know, maybe moving them will help spark that love of the plant again. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed seeing my plants I've lost interest in. Have you lost interest in any of your plants recently? Let me know in the comments. Share which plants just don't spark that joy for you anymore. I'd love to hear about it so I don't feel so alone. I have a lot of plants. I mean, most of my plants still are bringing me tons of joy. All these behind me and around me. It's just a few, you know, we go through, it's like a wave. We go through ups and downs with our plants. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you're having a fabulous week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.